What is going on, guys? It is the Anime Jaguar here, or you call me AJ for short if that is a tongueful for you. And today, I'm going to name my favorite movie from every year I have been alive, which for me is from 2002 to this year, 2020. And I'm going to name my favorite from every one of those years. So, obviously I haven't seen every single movie from each year. It's almost impossible. So, if you are wondering why didn't he include that one? Most likely I haven't seen it, or I just didn't like it as much as you did. So, I'm just going to say, we're not going to agree on a lot of these, but these are just my personal favorites. I'm not trying to impress you with my movie taste. These are just my personal favorites from each year I've been alive. And name a movie that you've been alive, even if you've been alive for several years. If you can remember, name your favorite movie from each year. And with that out of the way, let's begin.
2002, The Pianist. If anyone decided to have a conversation about the best films that take place during the Holocaust, Schindler's List and The Pianist are usually the first ones that are brought up in the conversation. The movie's central character is one I felt very empathetic towards, and a large part of that is due to Adrien Brody's outstanding performance. I found myself on the edge of my seat watching this movie because it really creates the sensation that anything can happen at any time. The world it creates is uncompromising, and the violence is rightfully very shocking. Overall, while it isn't an easy watch, it is one of the most engaging movies about the human spirit that is well worth experiencing. 2003, Finding Nemo. I was too young to watch this in theaters, but I did watch it as soon as it was released to DVD. The opening scene is saddening. The adventure in the middle is filled with pleasant characters and quotable dialogue. The main idea isn't completely about Nemo. It's actually about Marlin and his parenting. Marlin learns that caring for his son doesn't mean over-nurturing. 2004, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I admire this film. Jim Carrey gives a crucial career performance. His isolated portrayal of a man giving up on love and gradually losing memories of that love have him run the range of fluctuating strong feelings. After a severe breakup, Clementine endures a treatment to erase memories of her prior partner, Joel, from her mind. When Joel realizes that Clementine is going overboard to neglect the connection, he withstands the same process and gradually starts to forget the woman that he loves. This movie was directed by Michael Gondry, who is more known for his music videos, and written by Charlie Kaufman. Batman Begins. I adore this movie. Batman Begins is a fresh film. I enjoy origin stories, so this is a great Batman movie to me. This is the ultimate Batman origin story. It is a pleasant and incisive film made by an iconic director. This is a superhero movie that is a character analysis of a flawed person, but he decides to use it to his advantage. This is an enthralling plot that makes the audience feel passionate. The screenplay is clever with Alfred and Katie Holmes. It examines Batman's psychology, which makes you appreciate the character more in ways we had not before. All of that makes this a great film that I absolutely enjoy. I am pleased by the way Nolan's perspective is told. This is one of the best superhero movies of all time. This also has one of the most talented casts in a superhero film of all time. 2006, The Departed. Before watching this movie for the first time, I didn't think I would be a huge fan of The Departed. From the outside, it seemed too serious, irritating, and East Coast. It is all of the above, but it turns those elements full speed and you get several Bostonians killing people and screaming microprocessors for 2.5 hours as a result. The story is entertaining and it gets you automatically invested and nervous. This is the best Leonardo DiCaprio performance in my opinion because his character is convincing and layered. You can definitely tell that Scorsese is having a great time throughout the entire runtime. 2007, Ratatouille. This is an unusual story about a man being manipulated by a rat who's watching the spirit of the man's deceased dad. Somehow, Brad Bird takes that odd idea and makes this relatable movie about family and expectations that can be comedic at times. I don't rewatch this film as some other Pixar films, but it's extraordinary what Brad Bird was able to do with a strange vision. The Dark Knight. This is a skillful movie that has an astounding cast. People are quick to mention Heath Ledger's Joker performance, but Aaron Eckhart's performance as Harvey Dent is underrated in my opinion. All the components that make an iconic movie are in The Dark Knight. The third act with Batman fighting Joker and the bandits is impressive, but you care more about what's going on in a prison ship. Christopher Nolan reviews ideas of aspiration and escalation while telling an inspiring story that has stakes where tragic things happen to the protagonist. Even when good things happen to the protagonist, tragic things aren't far behind. All of these ideas make for actual disputes and spectacle. Every action has consequences in this film. This is a relatable movie. You feel enthralled by events that occur and you emote with the characters. 2009, Up. The first 10 minutes of this feature is an example of some of the best visual storytelling in cinema history. You find out everything about Carl and Ellie's connection and their distress. All of this is told without any dialogue. The rest of the movie has a strong sense of humor, unique characters, and explores the concept of remorse perfectly, while having an entertaining journey that's incredible at the same time. The rest of the film is not as good as the first 10 minutes, but it's still phenomenal. 2010, How to Train Your Dragon. Visibly speaking, this feature is about the journey of a boy and his private pet dragon, but it's more profound than that. It lunges into a dad's relationship with his son, societal expectations, and more. It's fun for a young audience while providing something touching for adults. Toothless has defined and imagined a way to make anyone adore him. The score is extraordinary, and the creators made a universe that made audiences want more. The whole movie pivots on Hiccup's hostile relationship with his dad as well as his personal connection with his new dragon. 2011, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Part 1 felt like it was troubled by being a setup film. This film benefits from feeling like it's 100% payoff. It's not only payoff for this movie, but for the Harry Potter story as a whole. After 7 movies, we finally get the battle between Harry and Voldemort, and it lives up to the hype. The scale is huge, the damage and end is distressing, and the moments of success are just as fulfilling as they should be. Harry Potter is not the only one with victories. Even Neville Longbottom gets to be a warrior. Not only is the action fulfilling, but the twists also play a part. 2012, The Avengers. Whedon and Feige were able to pull off what no one had done before, a superhero team-up blockbuster. The plot is basic, but that leaves room for superhero mayhem. 8 years later, I still think this movie has some of the best dialogue of all time. The pure bravery of the climax of this film is an absolute blast. 2013, 12 Years a Slave. This is based off a true story of a man who was sold into slavery when he was free. The movie also gets into the dangers that become of that. With this film, you get a lynching look at slavery and the way it was back in the mid-1800s. It's astonishing how brutal people used to be. It's captivating to watch this man go through such a struggle. This is a great film that's sad and motivating at the same time. The cinematography is elite. 12 Years a Slave is a superb movie. The only problem I have with this film is that it's a little too long. They probably could have cut about 10 to 15 minutes of it. If you want a classic movie, I recommend watching this at least once in your life. 2014, Whiplash. The highlight of this movie is the conflict between the characters played by Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons. This is a psychological drama at its best. It's not your typical music film. It's not entertaining comedic like other music movies. It's a clash between two characters who want to be right. This is one of the most intense films I have ever seen. I will not give any spoilers, but this movie has one of the most interesting endings. The last 10 minutes are emotionally important. Whiplash is a tremendous movie. If you enjoy music, I recommend it. If you are artsy in any way, I also recommend it. If you want to lead acting, check it out. 2015, Inside Out. This is the most expressive Pixar movie as it is about emotions. The main story about two opposites getting lost together and having to go back home has been done several times before, but what they do with it has never been done before. It is able to take all of these conceptual ideas about human emotions and visually convey them in a way that anyone can understand. Inside Out is a reminder to everyone how Pixar is one of the best animation studios of all time. Pixar makes features that include innovative stories that are immersing, intelligent animation, and memorable characters. 2016, Zootopia. When I first saw the trailer in 2015, I was skeptical. It didn't look like it would be as good as Disney's next project, Moana. The characters didn't seem intriguing and the humor didn't seem right. Fortunately, I was way off and it won me over with the wonderful characters in this interesting universe. The story isn't 100% original, but it absolutely works. This is a buddy cop movie with a strict cop teaming up with a rebel. If this was an action comedy, it probably wouldn't work, but it's not. Instead, it's an animated feature about animal stereotypes. It combines a buddy cop movie and a classic Disney movie. Together, it's modern and innovative. 2017, Coco. After watching this feature, I had to take a moment to understand my emotions. Coco is a fantastic sentimental letter to Mexico that has a profound and immersing plot, well-composed animation, unforgettable characters, an important statement about family, and incredible songs. This is the perfect family film. This is perfect to watch with family in order to completely grasp the significance of family. This is one of Pixar's best. 2018, Spiderman Into the Spiderverse. Words like astonishing, stunning, and supreme have already been used to describe this feature. For this film, it's hard to find one definitive word to describe how awesome this film is. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is an animated sensation that not only achieves an innovative visual outlet, but also takes a new step in the superhero genre. With a well-made plot, powerful characters, and imaginative animation, it delivers a memorable journey that can exceed the accomplishments of the other Spider-Man movies. It's not a flawless feature, but when something is done right, it is done perfectly. 2019, Toy Story 4. I can see why Pixar made another Toy Story sequel. Toy Story 4 is a remarkable creation by Pixar, where they not only made a bewildering animated film, but they also managed to do the unthinkable by proceeding the story after making what seemed to be the perfect ending in Toy Story 3. It delivers an entertaining plot, beautifully intricate animation, new unforgettable characters, and several sentimental moments that will give you a roller coaster of emotions. This may surprise some of you, but this is a must-watch. Even if you wish that there wasn't a sequel, you need to at least give it a chance. 2020, Onward. This has been a weird year, as I'm sure you know, unless you've been living under a rock. But it was hard to pick a movie for this year. I haven't seen many new movies this year, so I'm just going to go with Onward. It may not be Pixar's best feature, but I can't avoid how this film made me feel. Onward is a delightful movie that makes the most out of its ordinary idea. While the unoriginal concept makes the story and characters weak, the implementation is what gives the film the substance it needs to be an entertaining fantasy adventure movie. Onward comes off as profound thanks to the animation and the voice acting. You should check it out, but don't expect it to be the best Pixar feature. Don't think about the studio behind it and take it for what it is. Thank you guys for watching the video, and if you haven't already, like and subscribe to this channel, and there will be a playlist up here in the link description below of videos similar to this that you might appreciate. You might like it if you like this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.